Check, 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 check.
Everything lighting up. Got some cool fan wheels over here from D1 Tech. Some for the cutout in the front here. Some logo work for the sponsors on the side over here. Come around the back, we have 2 soles. Hence the name for the mod, the PSU soles. So come around to this side. We have the Florida mountains over on the side. The Pandora, I should say. And then the blue fade up into the black night sky. With the color surrounding the PSU soles. Hey guys, Market Precision.
What is up, guys? How's everybody doing today? We should have audio today. Our mic should be working without issues. Hopefully. Hopefully. Should be good. My head's cut off. I'll sit back for you. Okay. Okay. So today, what we're going to be getting into is clearing my throat. Just kidding. I actually have the laser going. I'm sure you can hear that in the background. I have the fans turned off so it's not too loud. Still doing some testing on that. I'm not quite sure what's going on, but I think I finally nailed it down to that I have a bad set of cups. Like the coating on the cups, what's the word I'm looking for? The powder coating on these last set of cups that I received. I think it's either thicker or the coating was just done really bad. I had this happen one time with some anodized aluminum, and I'm having the same situation going on. So I'm trying to see if I can change some settings a little bit so that I can get it right, so that I can still use these cups. Otherwise, what I'm going to do is go ahead and sand the cups, the powder coating off of the cups down to the stainless steel, kind of like I've done here. And then what I did with this was I went 200, 400, 800 I think, and I don't like the finish. I polished it a little so it's nice and smooth, but I don't like the finish, so I'm going to go to some finer grits on this. But then what we can do is something like this with the Superman logo, and we can actually burn into the stainless steel. So that'll be kind of cool, that I can repurpose the cups at least, so I'm not just, you know, wasting them. It's really kind of horrible that I've had to go through all of that to do that, but it is what it is. As you can see on the PC building computer, PC building computer, that's what I meant to say. On the PC building camera, we have set up for the build we're going to be getting into today. That build is a project that I've had sitting around for a long time. It is the EVGA Hadron Hydro case. I'm not sure they make them anymore. You might be able to find them on Amazon and eBay. But I've had this one since it was brand new. EVGA did this case modding thing with it. Unfortunately, the time zones that they had posted were like overseas, like a China time zone or something, so I didn't get it submitted in time. So I just held on to the case. I didn't really know what I was going to do with it, and I just decided at this point that I wanted to do something with it. because it's a cool little case. Initially back then I had an actual radiator and I was going to do a custom water cooling loop in it. How's it going, Bella? And since then I decided that I want to sell it. I'd like to build something custom in it, and I'm going to sell it. So I figured, being that it's such a small case, a custom water cooling loop inside there is going to be really hard for somebody to manage. So I figured I'm just going to do an AIO. I have some cool things to show you guys with that. I already mounted the AIO on the CPU because that's just tedious and takes forever. Doesn't take forever, it's just tedious. It's nothing that anybody needs to see. If somebody needs instructions on how to do that, it's on YouTube, I'm sure. How are things going today, Bella? How you doing? Good to have you back. And so we're going to get into that build, and it shouldn't take me very long. The case is really simple. The case is custom. I did paint it. I'll show that off. I'll switch cameras, so the overhead camera is a lot bigger, so you guys can see what I'm doing a little better. And the laser is going to go away when I do that. And then the other camera will be up in the top left. Something like so. Hey, look, the laser camera's still there too. Alright, that works. And do I got autofocus on that overhead cam? That's a really bad focus. I didn't zoom in, I don't think. Oh, it's zoomed. Why did it actually accept the zoom this time? That's why. It's zoomed in. Okay, let's see if that refreshes. No, not going to refresh. So it refreshes when I open up the video configuration, but not on stream. Interesting. Huh. It's also not clicked vertically. Or is it? It is. It is. Okay. Yeah, you guys will see the way I'm working. Okay, good. It's hard to hear me. How about now? Is that better? Or is that better? I should have had, I tried to figure these mic issues out yesterday. And I thought I had it figured out. Where is this? Let's just put that all the way up to there. Does that get better? That's at 0. That's there. That should be good. I have that all the way up. I don't know why it would be so quiet otherwise. And yeah, it's not on my Yeti. It's on this. Yeah, it's because it's picking up the laser, unfortunately. So I probably won't be able to have the laser running on stream because I have the laser camera volume completely muted. Let's do that. I don't think that made any difference. I have that volume muted. I think it's just picking up too much background noise. It was even worse with the Yeti. It seems to be a little better with this, but oh, be quiet, Nightbot. That's not even the right rules anymore. Yeah, so we're not going to be able to run the laser. Got it. Too much background noise. What do we got left over here? We should just have well, that's halfway through the burn. I'm really surprised it's picking up that much background noise and not me. But anyways, yeah, I can't really move away from the laser because no matter where I am in my office, it's going to be the same distance from the laser, so yeah, there's just nothing I'm going to be able to do about that. Alright, with that being said, Hey, aren't you supposed to be working? Oh, Nightbot's talking too much. And Nib's not here. Wonder what happened. So let's just get into the build. I'm just not going to worry about it. And that's I don't have a choice. That's going to run for like another 10 minutes. Oh, you know what? Never mind. Let's pause it. Let's just pause it. And that should have shut the laser up. Can you hear me better now that the laser's off? I forgot they added that feature to the software that I can actually pause it in the middle of a burn. That should be much better, hopefully. Okay, good. Alright, let's go, yeah, follow all the socials. Nightbot's gonna talk too much. I gotta adjust all those settings. It's a work in progress. Let's see if I go over here. Oh, I gotta move my camera. Almost forgot. I just pointed at the stage. And me. That's about good, I think. Yeah, that's good. It's off to one side a little. What am I seeing here? There. That's fine. No big deal. All right. I like that I can move it around because if I need to sit at my desk and do something, I can. Okay, perfect. So what I'm doing with this build, do I have my little parts in here? I'm not sure if I have them here. I don't think I do. All right, so what's kind of cool about this setup is I actually am going to be getting these listed up on the store also, and they're pretty neat. They're actually used in automotive for and Nib is here, yay! And he's as dumb as ever. All right. They're actually used in automotive, so that for like fuel line, but they will hold water cooling tubing. Come on in. We have a visitor. I'm just going to leave the door open, otherwise she's just going to knock at the door constantly. Come on. They're actually used in automotive tubing for holding, like separating fuel line, heater hose, things like that. But what we're going to use them for here is separating the tubing on the all-in-one cooler so that we have nice clean tubing runs, nice and separated, and it'll hold everything in line, kind of like this black one here. But I don't know, I gotta find my sorry, it's a little warm in my office today. I have to find my Allen wrench, and then I'm gonna sell these because I think it's a really cool idea to have something like that where you know, they'll be in different colors, blue, red, and black, which will pretty much cover most of the AIO tubing is black. I have these sleeved with some sleeving that I'm also going to be selling. And Nightbot, if you were doing your job, you should have posted a link to the site by now, but I don't think Nightbot really cares. He's just going to post whatever he wants. You doing your job? No, that's YouTube. Okay. Yeah, she just came barging in, as usual. Come inside. Stop rubbing on the door. Anyways, so Let me see if I can find my Allen key that I used for this. If not, I'm just not going to mount them on, and we'll mount them on later on, and I'll just show you guys what they do and not worry about it. Oh, Yeah, Nightbot. Where's the new site? Yeah, Nightbot's definitely doing Nightbot things. Where's the new site, Nightbot? You listed it once. Anyways, on the site, we're going to hit, we already have. We have tumblers, coasters, everything that we can make with our laser. We're going to be putting some CNC parts up there, and the site's going to grow. The site's going to grow with the business, because we're not just going to sell custom computers. Well, that's great and all. There's a million companies out there that do it. And a lot of people that are looking for pre-builts are looking for really inexpensive computers. And that's not necessarily what I build. Not sure this is going to work. No. And I don't know where I put my Allen keys. They're not in my little toolbox here. So we'll get that another time and we'll put those on. And we'll post pictures. Follow us on socials. You'll see the pictures. But anyways, as you can see here about this black one that's already mounted, this is how it's going to mount. And instead of having to use zip ties like what's on here now, we'll have our tubing pieces. I'm going to go get my Allen keys because that's going to annoy me otherwise. I'll be right back. Alright, so I had one of my sets of Allen keys, but this should work. Let's see what size we are here. I'm not sure if it's going to be this guy. Yep, perfect. So, I mean, you will need to own a set of Allen keys because they secure in the middle with one Allen key, and that just holds them onto the tubes. So let's get rid of this black one. But they will be available in black, red, and blue. They're aluminum anodized. We're going to sell them in a 4-piece kit because typically what I kind of figured was it's going to take 4 of these for each piece. Yeah, definitely. And that's, you know, that's what I tell people. You know, you see a lot of those social media videos. I'm not cheap. If you want cheap, blah, blah, blah. It has nothing to do with that. It has nothing to do with, you know, me trying to overcharge or me trying to get rich or anything like that. Typically, I wind up doing more for customers than I promise. And I don't sell things that are just going to be okay. I sell higher end machines. I build higher end machines. I do a lot of custom work. If we can, here, let me move this out of the way for a second. Put it over here. I do want to thank EK for this really cool mouse mat. They loved my Heart PC that I did. That was actually for a client. They loved that PC, and it got some love on one of their YouTube videos, and they reached out to me to send me this cool mouse mat. So it makes a nice cover for my table here. I actually have a mod mat that's going to be on here normally, but I figured I'd show this off today. And I have done stuff with EK in the past. They've sponsored some of my builds. So this is what the whole case looks like. Now you can see the clear coat there, how nice it is. And it's water drops. So how you actually paint this is you lay the surface flat, right, like so, and then you sprinkle water on the surface. And then you take your paint and you just spray across the top of the water. So you can see it almost looks like it's shadowed, like somebody actually tried to airbrush a water drop, but it doesn't technically work that way. You spray over the top of the water, and then when the water drops evaporate, the paint settles down in the exact way that the water would have on your surface. So you get a really cool looking paint job, and the whole entire case is painted this way. It's all matching. as you can see, inside and out, all the way around, and you get the really cool paint job. Now, what else is cool with this PC uses a server style power supply that is provided from EVGA. It came with the Hadron and the Hadron Hydro cases, and all of these cables have been custom sleeved. I actually hand sleeved this whole kit. Typically in builds, I would use like cable extensions or something to add some color pop inside the PC. But this one I had to hand sleeve because there's no space for anything inside this case. There is a little side panel connector here that has 2 audio ports and USB. However, I'm not using the audio cable. I could, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to plug it in. I'm going to use the USB. The USB is actually, it's funny because it's blue inside here. As you can see, it's a USB 3.0. It's blue inside here, so it matches the whole build. The audio cable I could plug in. I'll probably include it to whoever, you know, whenever I sell it. So if somebody wants to put it in there, they can use it. That's great. But I typically, I'm not going to connect it because there's the rear audio. It's just the headphone and mic jack. Most people that I know don't use those. Either they're using a USB headset or they're plugging into like their microphone if they're using a microphone custom. So I'm not going to connect it. Long and short. I was going to put some kind of power supply shroud over the bottom of the power supply to clean up the case a little bit more, but I have some custom stuff over here that I'm going to show you guys in just a bit that I did inside that you don't really need anything else. This is our new front panel, and the front panel that came on the case didn't make a lot of sense. I'm not exactly sure why EVGA did this, but I need to get a doohickey. What are those doohickeys that I can just push a button and switch that? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. I'm not sure why EVGA did this, but on the front panel, the front of the case, they have these holes, right? It's like ventilation holes here. But the original front panel was just a piece of plastic that the whole back of it was like two-faced tape, and it was just stuck to the front. So the holes don't do anything. Again, I'm not sure why they would do something like that, but that's how they did it. So I remade my front panel, a new front panel, a custom front panel, and I actually used acrylic weld and created some strips on the back here and gave it about a 1/2 inch, maybe 3/8 of an inch spacing, so that you do utilize these front holes. They will pull in air from the front of the case. It does pull in air from the bottom too, but that's mostly blocked by the wiring and the power supply. So you do get some ventilation coming in from the front of the case, and that's going to be really useful for the all-in-one cooler that I have up in the top, because it's going to be able to pull air in from right here, right into those fans and exhaust it right out of the top. So it's going to really optimize how this case works. And that's one of the things, Bella, like I was talking about. You get a typical PC builder, they don't do custom things. They just throw the parts inside a PC and put it up for sale, and they make $200, $300, $400 depending on the build and the cost. You know, whereas I do things a little different than that. So let's do the reveal on the front panel. Now, this front panel has your power button in the center here. It's a custom Vandal switch. It does light up. It will light up blue. It has been painted the same way to match the rest of the case. It has the EVGA logo inscribed into the acrylic here and here, and then the Waterdrop paint, and then everything was clear coated. The power button is sleeved, and we have our power switch and LEDs that we're going to plug into the motherboard, of course. They do fit right through the hole in the original front of the case. And what I'm going to do here, I do have two-face tape that's going to affix it to the case, but I kind of changed my mind on that a little bit. So I might remove the two-face tape, and I might drill and tap holes into these pieces of acrylic so that when I set this down here, it can be mounted, but then you can remove it if you needed to. I don't really see a need for needing to remove the front panel, except to maybe change the power button, because that's the only thing that's there. There's no USB or anything. So I don't really see a need to remove the panel, but I'm going to make it removable anyway. Since we have the holes that I can utilize inside the case there, I'm just going to use screws that'll just screw in those plastic, like threaded screws that'll screw right into that plastic and hold it on. I might use the two-phase tape too. I don't know. I haven't totally decided yet, but that's the front panel. I figured I'd go through that. We're going to leave it off for right now because I need to get the motherboard and everything inside the case. Now, the other cool thing about this case is, I don't remember, to be completely honest, when I bought this case, because I did customize it and I cut out, I think in the top here, right here where I have it cut out and I have this this rubber shielding, I think there was a mount for a radiator, because there's this spacing here in the two holes in the back where tubing would have come out, because EVGA made a kit for it that you can't get anymore. And the kit, the water tubes came out of the back, out of these two holes, and then they went into these two holes to cool your CPU. The kit was ridiculous. The kit was not a good kit, and I was never going to use it. I was, as I said, going to do something custom. So what I went ahead and did is I cut all this out so it was just wide open, and I'll show the reason for that right now. So now what we can do with that cut away is we have the top of the case here, and I have the Arctic 240 AIO mounted up here. These are really nice AIOs. The fan cables and everything are tucked in, so that you don't have any extra wiring coming down from the top. So this thing is super clean inside. Look at the back. There's no place to hide cables. The back is flat. The panel goes right on here and that's it. There's no place to hide cables. So all the cables are going to be exposed inside the build. Where's the back panel? I don't even know where the back panel is, but I can put it on right now. I know it's over here somewhere. I also redid the front panel here. Just a piece of acrylic. The original piece of acrylic, but I did polish it because there was like a black edge. Something weird on it. And then that is also painted with the Waterdrop paint job. I know the back panel's over here somewhere too. Like I said, I have a lot of stuff in here, and I needed to do this build video because I want to get this thing out there. I have a few that I need to do. I need to get stuff up on the site, so I need to start doing some of these. And I want to keep the stream going. So we are using the Arctic Liquid Freezer 2 240mm ARGB AIO in this build. Build looks so awesome. I already assembled it just to kind of get ahead of myself, just so I could, see what I was doing. The build looks so awesome all together. Even with the lighting just set to RGB with it, not set to blue or anything. And if only I knew where I put the back panel. And typically what I want to do moving forward is boot them up on screen and do all of that kind of stuff. I have a monitor that I'll move over. I have power right up here, so I can get power to everything. I really don't know what I did with the back panel. It's here. It's Waterdrop painted. It looks awesome, but it's here somewhere. Like I said, I'm moving in 12 different directions, so I probably have something stacked on top of it, and that's why I'm being blind and not able to see it. Really thought I had it by the front panel. It's probably right in front of my face, or it's inside the box for the case. That's not the box for the case. That isn't either. There it is. I really didn't think I put it in there though. Alright, anyways, let's not worry about the back panel, because all it is a painted back panel that matches the Waterdrop paint. So let's move on to actually building. And so what I did here was, in the top of the case, we just have the 4 Arctic screws that screw in through the outside that line up perfectly with the radiator that's going to hold the radiator to the very top here. It doesn't cause vibration or anything like that like you would think it would. I'm sorry if that was loud. Oh, It doesn't cause vibration or anything. There's rubber dampers inside in between the case and the radiator, so that we eliminate the vibration or anything like that. So what I'm going to do next here is get this zip tie off of here. My little snips are missing too. I think those are out in my garage. So we're just gonna twist this to break the plastic. If you don't have snips and you need to get a zip tie off, you can just grab a pair of needle nose or a pair of pliers, grab the head of the zip tie with them, and just twist and the zip tie will break. So let's get our retainers on here. Where did I put my... Go ahead and get this tightened in. And this will be cool because this is going to hold our tubing perfect throughout the whole run. And then when I mount the motherboard inside, this is mini ITX. So it's literally 4 screws, hold the motherboard in place. And that's it. And there, we don't even have to fully tighten it down. I'm going to put one at both ends, and then we'll get our 2 in the middle. Actually, you know what? I might want to put those on after I get it inside there, just so I have a little flexibility. But let's try to figure out our spacing. Yeah, that'll be good. So we can probably get our second one on here. And then we'll put the top 2 on once we get it in the case so that the tubes can move around a little bit, well, so we're not fighting with ourselves. And then we'll get that mounted up. These are not going to be expensive. I don't have an accurate price point set yet. Really? Am I not scrolling here? Looks like I see another chat message over there, but not here. Hello, can we update? No, I'm not going to update. Hey, we hit 150 followers yesterday. Awesome. So, that's there. And I mean, it's really cool. It's something custom. It's going to hold the tubing so that we get a nice proper gap throughout the whole run. And I don't know why I'm not getting my chat updated over there. Ah, thank you. Thank you. I don't know why that pops up everywhere except on my phone, where I figured it'd be really nice to have my phone sitting over here so that I could see chat, so that I could talk to you guys and not have to walk over there and look at it. Chat's not popping up over here. But yet I can chat and it pops up. I guess we just call that Twitch being Twitch, huh? Anyways. So, for this board, we have one 8-pin power connector in the top here, and we have our 24-pin. And that's all we're connecting inside. We have our USB 3.0 in the front. This board does have connections for external SATA, a USB 3.1 or 3.2, and front panel audio, of course, and front panel 2.0 USB, and ARGB fittings, and blah, blah, blah. But we already have, from our AIO cooler, we have our ARGB plugged in, and we have our fan header plugged in. So we'll be able to control that via the motherboard. This is the ASUS B760i motherboard. We're using the 13600K processor, and we have the Intel Arc A770 graphics card that we're going to put in here, which is amazing because some of the things that Intel has done recently has really, with the drivers and things, has really improved the performance of the Arc graphics cards. So it's at a $350 price point. Originally it was compared to the RTX 3060 Ti 3070, but with some of the current driver work that they've done, it can get performance matching a 3080 and even better in some games. So that's really cool. It's really going to pack this little small computer full of power. And then underneath our M.2 cooler here, we have a 1 terabyte Sabrent Rocket NVMe power SSD. So everything is compact. There's no external wires. It's amazing. And so let's get our build over here. Get this out of the way. Let's lay our case down. And then when we lay our case down, now that we have our camera a little bigger over here, you can see our sleeved cables. They're just a nice blue and black. They're paracord. They're not PET. They're not plastic. They have a nice shimmer on the blue. It's a really nice color, kind of takes different shades. We have our graphics card power right here, which is actually two 8-pins. And, or no, it's an 8-pin and a 6-pin, that's right. And then we have some Molex cables that are just kind of tucked up in the front here because they're not necessary, and our 24-pin and our 8-pin for our CPU. Let's try to pull this stuff out of the way so that we can fish the motherboard down in here without snagging. There we go. Should be good. And now what's cool about this is being all connected like this, I'm really just going to take this and fish it down from the top. And I gotta remember how I did this. This went like this. Yes, this is how I did this. So it is, like I said, it's a little case. These ITX cases are very small to work in. I actually have a couple more of them that aren't as small. I have an ASUS special case that we're going to be doing an ROG themed build in. And then I have a Fractal Torrent Nano that we're going to do another ITX build in. Really cool designed case. I have some custom things that, hey look, now it worked. Now your other message came in too, Bella. I don't know, like I said, Twitch being Twitch. So what we are going to do is, and maybe it's because my, no, show me both like you did before. Okay, thank you. So as easy as this doesn't look, oh, let's tuck our cables before we tighten down our motherboard. So what I did here with these cables for the AIO is they just simply tuck underneath behind the motherboard, and it really tightens up the inside of the computer. And then we get way up there in the corner. We take our 4 little tiny screws, and one of the things with PC building that I've learned through the years, if you go on YouTube and search, what is it, Intel Rig Wars, you'll see a little mini series that I was a part of, sponsored by Intel, that we did some quick building PCs. So it was kind of like some reality themed blah blah blah. I don't know. I don't really think the people that put it together really knew what they were doing. They did have one tech guy that I know, a friend of mine. Yeah, see what I mean? Okay. A friend of mine that kind of instructed them on what to do, but they put it together. They sourced it. It was a marketing company. You know, Intel goes to a marketing company instead of coming to some of the guys that have been doing it for 20 plus years to put things together, and they never make sense when they do that. But actually building a PC, especially something like this, those were all custom water cooled too, but something like this with an AIO, it's generally simple. Most people can do it. Okay, there's our 4 screws. That holds our motherboard in place. In this build, we have no hard drives, no SSDs, nothing. Yeah, I think that was the one that I don't know if Donnie has shown that in his channel before. He might have. But yeah, it was, man, I want to say that was 2015 or something. 8 years already? Holy cow. But it was 2 of my friends, Travis Jank, he runs, what's the name of his company? Next Gen PCs up in Idaho. He's actually up by Hez, in the Coeur d'Alene area. And then he also runs Crambu, which is a big mining facility. I haven't talked to him in a little bit. Yeah, Hez, what's going on? I haven't talked to him in a little bit because he might actually be, I don't know what he's doing with mining, unless he switched over to Bitcoin because Ethereum mining died. Yeah, definitely. What's going on, Hez? How you doing? And then my other friend, Hassan, that runs V1 Tech.
You'll see V1 Tech if you go to any of the PAX East shows. He goes to a lot of anime shows. He does custom prints on acrylic stuff that goes on your wall, RGB backlit stuff. He also does, he makes custom panels like this and backplates for graphics cards and yada yada. He just started doing some printing on computer cases and things. So really cool guys. Been friends with him for a long time. Love seeing them succeed. What's going on, Hez? How you doing today? We are getting this PC built because I've needed to build this PC for a long time. I need to get this actually listed up on the site for sale. It's that simple. We're going to go ahead and we'll plug our CPU power in first because that's all the way up in the top corner here, just to get this out of the way. Again, really simple. One cable, done. Now we have our 24 pin, even in this little tiny tight case. The thing about the 24 pin, on some of the newer power supplies, these are one piece. The reason that they separated the 20 and the 4 pin is because some older generation hardware, I might happen to have one here. Both of these are older, but they both still use a 24 pin. I mean, a 20 pin, there was a 20 pin motherboard power connector. This goes back to probably the early 2000s. And then everything moved over to the ATX standard of 24 pin. So why some companies in 2010 and 15 and later are still separating the 20 and the 20 and the 4 pin, I don't understand. Because it's actually an 8 pin, no, it's a 4 pin, and the 20 pin's over here. And I have connectors that I could de-pin this, that I should have just put a 24 pin on when I sleeved everything, but I didn't. Alas, it just locks that little tab in, and then we lock it into the motherboard. Real simple. Anybody that's built a computer before or thinking about building a computer should know how these power plugs plug in, although I do get questions all the time from people that don't. Because everybody thinks they watched 3 YouTube videos with guys building computers, or a live stream or whatever, and everybody thinks they can build a computer. It's just how it works. Good deal, good deal. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing about that though. The modern power supplies, most of them have fault circuitry built in. So here in Florida, when I do, computers and businesses and stuff like that, I tell everybody, they don't have to have a power backup, whatever they're called. I don't know. You need some kind of surge protection on your computer because we get a lot of storms. The other thing about that, battery backup, there we go. That's what I said. And we get a lot of storms. You guys in Texas, Bella, get a lot of storms too. And is Nightbot tagging me again? Nightbot's not showing up over here. Oh yeah, he is. Okay, that's what's going on. Hey, why is Nodders not showing up? I thought I had those turned on in my channel. I'll have to turn those on. You get a lot of storms, and a simple surge can fry things really easily. I got a guy that he moved his office. He had tile floor. It was somebody I support, and he moved over to carpet. All 3 of his computers, first storm, boom, static, blew the power supplies. Fortunately, the power supplies have trip circuitry built in, so it doesn't go past that, and because it used to take everything out. You get a power surge, it'd wipe out the motherboard take the CPU and the RAM with it, like it was just a nightmare. And then I would just sell them new computers and tell them, well, I told you to put it on a power supply. Hence, my emote. Anyways. So the newer power supplies are good to use with older stuff. But most of the newer power supplies are going to have a 24 pin, not a 20 plus 4 pin. Anyways, we'll get back to that. So we're going to plug our USB 3.0 in here. And these are, if I have to say one thing, actually I'm going to tuck this first behind the 24 pin, come up underneath it. These pins for this USB 3.0, I hate this header. I hate it with a passion. The pins are super fine and fragile, kind of like CPU pins. And if you don't have it lined up just perfect and you try to push one in the wrong way, you're going to bend it and then you're not going to lock it in. It's not a big deal if you're working with a big case or you have plenty of space to work on. In tight circumstances, it can be a little bit of a pain. I have bent them before. I've had to straighten them out. It's not as difficult as like a CPU socket, but it can be tedious. These are our cables for our graphics card, so we're just going to hold those out of the way. And now we can see with our nice sleeved cables in here. Okay, we'll just orient that like that. We have the 8-pin up there. You guys should be able to see that from down in. And for being a little tiny case with all this stuff crammed inside, looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. I'm going to do the graphics card reveal in a second here. USB 3, yeah. Yeah, trust me, I've gone through all of that stuff. I actually do like the new USB 3.1, 3.2 connector. It's a little smaller rectangle. It can only plug in one way, and it doesn't have weird pins and things like that that are going to get in your way and going to bend and etc. So, all right, and now I will show you how the AIO locks it in the top. This case literally just slides down and like so, and it's a little tight in the back. Now it's a little tight in the back because the radiator is longer than the radiator, like I said, than the kit that came with these. So what I actually have to do, and I forgot when I took the top off that I had to do this, is loosen these screws a turn, like so. The case will slide in. It should. There we go. Like so. That slides and locks back in place. We can tighten these screws back up into the radiator, and it kind of interlocks everything too, which is really nice. And then when you go to take the top off again and you forget that you have to do that, it makes it really difficult to take the top off. I'm out of the camera. Let's move back up here. So we're going to tighten these screws back up. Now, as with everything, and let's get this directly under the camera so I can show you this guy's really good. This is how I tighten computer parts. Okay, screwdriver, 2 fingers, maybe 3, and snug. Now what most people don't know is computer radiators, the shroud, the internals might be copper. I did not go there, Bella. You went there. That's you. I didn't do it. The internals might be copper, which copper is also a very soft metal. But but the aluminum that the where the screws screw into is really soft. Thermaltake. Got their 20-year shirt on today. Thermaltake's newer radiators, they are copper, and the shroud is stainless steel. So it's a little more rigid. You don't have to worry so much about stripping that screw when you're screwing it down. But I've been there. You know, that's what happens when you do this for a very long time. You kind of come across everything in the field. Yeah, no, me neither. I was talking about screwing something tight in the back and it didn't even go through my brain. So, I guess I'm just focused today. Anyways, or I don't like it that way. So to continue building the computer, we're gonna go ahead and get. I don't think I'm gonna put one up there because I don't even think it's necessary. I think I'm gonna move this one over so you can see it a little more visibly. We'll put this one up here. Well, I'm glad you're here, Bella. Thank you for tuning in, as always, both of you guys. And let's go ahead and tighten this down. But I really like the look of this, especially because this whole case is blue, and I did the sleeving on the AIO cooler. So this, just to hold these tubes nice and spaced. Now, I'm not going to say, okay, I'm going to turn this one around because I want that to be up if I ever have to maintain this in the future, or if anybody else ever does, which you shouldn't really have to ever take this off, but I'd rather look at the front of the Allen head than the back anyways. Now, I'm not going to say that by separating the tubes, it's going to make a difference in performance, but hear me out. One tube is going to have hot liquid flowing up to the radiator. Okay, that liquid is then going to be cooled in the radiator. And that same liquid is going to flow back to the CPU to cool the CPU and to pick up the hot liquid off of the CPU plate, take it back to the radiator, rinse and repeat. So by separating the tubing, theoretically, hear me out, theoretically, we're also improving cooling. You heard it here. Don't repeat it, because I could be wrong. I don't know. I can't prove that. All right, and so that's pretty much the whole build. Guys, we're done. But we're not. Now, this motherboard does have integrated video output. So we have a DisplayPort and an HDMI. We also have 6 USB ports. 3 of them are 3.0. We have 2 USB Type-Cs, which are fantastic. We have our 2.5 gig internet. We have Wi-Fi, and we have our 7.1 channel audio. Now, I'm going to light it up. I'm going to shut the lights off. I'm going to plug it in. I'm going to light it up because I want you guys to see it because I think it looks really cool with the RGB RAM and the RGB fans in the top. Not a huge leave everything RGB person, but it looks really cool. And I'm going to reveal our special limited edition Intel Arc A770 graphics card and the backplate that we made. Intel Arc A770 limited edition with the EVGA logo. The backplate again with the Waterdrop design matching the rest of the build. So now when we install our graphics card, which I'm going to tell you this, the last time I installed this and I did a quick run on it, the card got really hot. So I'm not sure that the fans were spinning. The fans might need, or the card might need the driver to get the fans to spin. Which is kind of the direction that I'm leaning on this. And so I'm not going to plug this in when I first install Windows and everything on the computer. I'm going to do it now to show you guys. And again, these cases, you know, these ITX builds, they're really cool when they're done. They're really compact. They're fun. They're small. You know, you can sit them up on your desk next to your computer. Or next to your... You can sit your computer on your desk next to your computer. You can also sit your computer on your desk next to your monitor. There is a little notch out of the backplate that you saw there, and that is to fit around the I/O shield of the motherboard. This is going to come down and bring it to the back. Slidey, slidey, slide. Oh, we have our power cables in the way. Move those. Oops. Come on, work with me. There we go. Perfect. And click. And I really shouldn't have clicked it because now I have to unclick it. And that's just a pain. Ugh. But look at that. How cool is that? Right? We're going to plug in our 8-pin and our 6-pin power cables that come up from the underneath of the card. Now, the funny thing about this is everything that's super tight in this case, with it all being so tight, nothing hits the top fans, nothing hits the graphics card fans. Everything is color coded. Our nice cables here in the front for our GPU. Oops, wrong way. There we go. You guys can get a really nice view of that. We have our nice AIO cables here that we can, you know, move around a little bit if we need to, but they fit in really nice. We have our 24-pin back here, and let's go ahead and plug it in so you guys can see it. And then the other really cool thing too is when we put our side panel on, it just kind of closes everything in really nice. And it ties our Waterdrop paint scheme all the way up through. You just see a little bit. I'm going to leave it off because I want you guys to see all the AIO, all the colors and everything inside. And let's go ahead and kill our lights. 1, 2, 3. And power. Hey, give me my power cord. Sorry, I have this really long power cord for a reason, but then I forget how really long it is and it gets snagged on things. Alexa, turn on the spotlight.
Okay. By the way, I can notify you when there's a severe weather alert for you.
I don't need it. Alexa, shut up! Thank you. Spotlight things. Oh, look at that. It's right on me. Good job, Alexa. Oh. Power dimmed. Not really. I was just kidding. Oh. Haha. So, let's plug in my power button. Yeah, kind of forgot to plug that in. Oh, yeah, that's not the USB header up at the front. That's the power header. So let's go and get that stuff plugged in real fast. Should have done that before I plugged that in. It's alright, I should be able to get to there. Front panel connectors on a computer are the absolute worst. Especially after I turn all my lights off. I missed. This is just our LED. It's not really a big deal. I don't know why I'm wasting my time to plug it in. Because I just really need the power button to power it on. And I don't. I could jump to power. But I wanted to show you guys. No, I'm not going to light up the power button anyway, so I'm not going to show you guys the power button. Whatever. I don't need that. Okay, we're just going to jump to power. In 3, 2, 1. So, we see our nice AIO fans there up in the top. The Intel Arc. Oh yeah, the fans do definitely shut off. Has the nice blue lighting strip along the bottom. So it gives us a really nice glow. We have our RGB RAM that's lighting up really nice. Again, any of these things can be controlled. Yeah, as I added a NIV. Don't bazap me. Yes, and if you heard your name earlier, wow, you said something coherent. High five to the forehead. It's all motherboard controlled, so the ASUS RGB software you can install, and then you can set everything with the ASUS software. You can control the graphics card, the RAM, and the ARGB fans. You can also control the speed of them and everything through the BIOS of the motherboard, etc., etc., etc. So now when we put our nice cover on, we still get a really nice glow through the side panel of the case of our components. And I mean, this thing looks, with the front panel on, it looks so badass because we get a little glow from behind the front panel coming through the front. Oh, looks badass. I'm going to be posting pictures of this online, doing some marketing for the business with it. And you guys will be able to check those out if you followed the Instagram and Facebook and other things. Thank you, thank you. And just click on the link because that's where you're going to be able to buy it really soon. Nightbot's doing their job. What is going on? All the bots are working. Even Alexa with the spotlight. I gotta go play the lottery. I'll be right back. Anyways, so yeah, that's that. She's beautiful. I love this little computer. I really do. I hate to get rid of it, but I can't keep them all. Or I'd have to live in them. You know, if I lived in them, I could probably keep them all. But so there's that. But other than that, this AIO is really good. I did test it out, and the performance on it is great, especially for an i5 or an i7 CPU with the 240 unit. It just works fantastic. I think everything is separated really nice. Everything goes cohesive in the case. It's not just, you know, a little, a little nice computer to game on. It's also something that, you know, if you were a streamer and you have your streaming PC tucked under your desk because nobody cares about that, this is something really nice that could be sitting up on your desk or in the camera shot or something like that, that would just showcase. It would be a talk piece. Everybody would be like, what is that water on your computer? Or maybe not, or it's just because I like it. Either way. So with that being said, I'm going to wrap things up. I'm going to get this shut off. Shut. I'm going to get this, yeah, something like that. We're going to power it down before our graphics card gets really hot again. Get our lighting back on. And Alexa, shut off the spotlight.
Okay.
Thank you. And yeah, that's it. So I'm impressed. The graphics card's not getting really hot yet. Last time I did leave it running for a little while, and I think that's why I had the heat issue. So yeah, it's cool. Yeah, because the fans are not spinning in there. But I mean, I love it. It looks great. It did boot. Computer works fantastic. I'm gonna get it up on the site very soon. So you guys can go ahead and buy it. I don't have an official price point for it yet, so I don't even want to go there. But I'm going to be doing a lot of these. I have, like I said, I have a few other really cool computers lined up to build. I do have a 4080 and a 4090 over here that I'm not sure what I'm going to build with them yet. I have a 4080 that one of my friends kind of wanted it. So we might be doing his build live on stream. He's someone local here to me that's bought some computers for me in the past. Oh, the other thing. I love this desk. I totally forgot I could have brought this up to showcase the computer. Look at that. Fantastic. How cool is that? It's like a zoom. It's a magic zoom for the camera. All right. Magic zoom out. It's like Go-Go Gadget desk. Look, Ma, no hands. Oh, one more. And now the desk is going to drop it down low, which goes back to the back being tight again. Ugh. All right, and with that, I'm going to wrap it up. Thanks for tuning in, guys. This video is going to be up on our YouTube channel. Make sure to go over to the YouTube channel and subscribe. I'm sure at some point in time, Nightbot has put the link in the chat. Thank you guys for being here. Hez, thanks for the sub yesterday. Bella, I appreciate you hanging out. Always good to talk to somebody other than myself and a Niv. Bye. YouTube. Also, don't forget, go and get your tumblers, your coasters, your other cool laser stuff at our gaming site today. And let's see if I have somebody online that I can raid. Andy might be online. Is it too early for Andy? Let's see. Djin is there. Let's see if Andy's on. Too early for Andy. Let's see. Djin is playing something that I have no clue what he's playing. And we'll go over to Mr. Pew Pew. This guy's hilarious. Got a great accent. He also does PC giveaways. He primarily streams PUBG, first-person shooter. I'm sure you guys know the game. He's funny to watch. Let's go over and say hello. And I will catch you guys next time. Thanks for tuning in.